the frames that the Republicans have set on, what are they? Experience, taxes, security, a couple of the other ones. Why doesn't anyone honestly talk about how exciting it is to have somebody who has not been jaded by politics? That the idea of someone not being experienced enough to take that job seems to just begs the comparison to George Bush having absolutely no experience whatsoever in doing anything but being a not so good governor. Bill Clinton was not the most experienced politician in the world when he came. Well, I guess he was. But I mean, I just don't understand where this inexperienced frame really gets any play. I mean, he's going to surround himself with the best advisors possible. He's being briefed constantly. I just wish somebody.
Here's the bottom line is that if I don't think Bill Clinton could have won in today's foreign policy climate.
Right.
I mean, I think that would have been a liability for him. But at that time, our greatest foe in the world, had collapsed. There was no imminent danger towards us, or at least a perception of it. And so, that's why his mantra became, it's the economy, stupid. He didn't have to worry about that foreign policy. And unfortunately, I think the flip side you're talking about, you don't have a guy who's been jaded by the Washington political system in D.C. Obama hasn't really done much to indicate that as much as he might have. So that's not as much of an asset anymore. I mean, so they needed to fill this gap, which was, supposedly bring on a foreign policy expert, the one who advocated splitting Iraq into 3 different parts because Galbraith is getting money to lobby for the Kurds. And the guy,
so you're talking
I'm
about
talking about
Biden?
But that's the perception of him. The perception is that he's a wise old man of Washington, and let's face it, Obama is running against the establishment. Every time a Democrat runs for president, they have half of their challenge is to be accepted by the establishment, to show that they're willing to get down on their knees and kiss the proper rings, metaphorically. And this is it.
I watched Idiocracy on cable last night for the second time, and
I watched that movie. I can't remember it that much. I didn't think it was that great.
Well, satirically, it's very smart, but the execution was a little limited. Somebody's saying that they think the inexperienced frame is not so covert racism. That basically what they're saying is he's a black guy. Come on, folks, a black guy with power. A black guy.
Well, I mean, look, I think it's legitimate to say that he doesn't have that much foreign policy experience. I mean, just quantitatively. But I also, the harder argument, which I actually think is a valid one, is that so what? So what? Our entire foreign policy establishment just spearheaded the worst foreign policy disaster in the history of the country. So, so-called foreign policy experience, at least the kind that you get as a politician, seems to me to be not a terribly strong or relevant qualification. But that's the perception. I think for some it may play into some racist things, but I think if he was a white guy, they'd be saying the same thing about it.